and also that I can send it to you guys as well, so that if you want to hear this again, awesome. Uh, Definitely grab a pen, grab a notepad, and take a bunch of notes. My goal on this call is to really answer any questions you guys have. I'm an open book. Um, I guess just real briefly, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jonathan Zabraki, and I've just had the privilege and blessing of being a realtor for 14 years. And I started at zero, just like we all do in real estate. And my first year, I did a little over 10 million in sales. My second year, 14 million. My third year, 27 million. And now I'm at about 371 million in sales. And I've really learned how to really work with higher end clients and premium clients and just give them a phenomenal result. And that's what I'm here to share and to help you with that, so you don't make mistakes I did, and you can just kind of duplicate my successes. Um, and some people say, well, how do we get like more of this, right? And there's really one way, and that one way is come to my 3-day event. I do a 3-day event generally maybe every 3 months, give or take. The last event that I will most likely be doing in 2016 is in September. So it's September 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's here in San Diego, and I limit it to 30 realtors. The reason I do that is because I'm kind of an introvert at heart, and I would be scared silly if I had to talk to 500 people. I just wouldn't enjoy that. And so I limit it to 30 realtors, one, because I'm an introvert, and two, because I really want people to walk away with a clear plan of action. And I like a smaller group so that you can ask any questions you want. And like I say, it's all about me showing you and telling you how I went from zero to 371 million now in residential sales in 2 different markets, one in Minnesota and one here in San Diego. So I've been a realtor in San Diego for about 4 years. In my first year, I did a little over 20 million in sales. Last year, I did 29.2 million, and I worked with 23 clients. And to me, it's a great lifestyle. It's called ELF, easy, lucrative, and fun. And that's what I really want to help realtors with. And so yeah, the 3-day event, I'll talk about it for another minute, and then I'll get on to stuff unless you guys have questions about it. It's $998. It is probably the last time it will be that inexpensive, and limited to 30 realtors. I've gone over that. 2 huge guarantees. One is I guarantee it'll be the last real estate event you will ever need to attend. If you don't feel that way, just let me know, and I refund you back 100% of what you paid. Second guarantee is that you're going to walk away by the end of that 3rd day with a very clear picture of how you can add at least $300,000 of income to you within 12 months. And if by the end of the 3rd day you feel that you don't have the skills or don't have the wherewithal or whatever it is to go to add an additional 300,000 of income, just let me know, and I refund you back 100% of what you paid. We part as friends. You get to keep all my materials, and away we go. I don't know anybody else who has that kind of guarantee, and probably people don't, because I'm not a professional speaker. I'm not a professional motivator. I'm just a realtor, and I'm willing to share with other realtors exactly what I do to attract phenomenal clients, to convert those leads into like awesome clients, and then to just deliver a phenomenal VIP experience for them. So, gosh, that's a little bit about the 3-day event coming up. And do you guys have any questions on that event before I dive into to helping you out? And I think we have a couple people on the call who are coming to the event. So awesome. Good to see you guys on the call. All right, so if you have any questions that pop up, ask away. So this next hour, it's 100% about you guys. So I can talk to you about, you pick it, I could talk to you about it, but I want you guys to leave this hour with like, wow, that was awesome. I got a lot of value from it. And so what could I talk about that would really be massively beneficial for you? Would you like me to focus on lead generation, which is one part of the triangle? Would you like me to focus on lead conversion? Or would you like me to focus on delivering a phenomenal VIP experience for your clients? What would be most beneficial for you guys today?
Yeah, I have something.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw one of your videos and you talked about the high end and communicating about getting them 4% higher in less, in a less amount of time. And I was just wondering more about that because I have a couple of really high end sort of off market right now that I would like to bring forth and be able to actually let them know
Yeah.
is.
Yes, awesome. Okay, well, let me show you my latest postcard I just sent out. So I send this postcard out to about 5,000 people, and I usually send it out about every 2 weeks, give or take. Generally, this postcard will make me about $60,000 per month. So I spend about 3,000 to send it out, and I get about 60,000. So that's a good return on investment. And the postcard's really simple. It says, "Hey, just sold," or something to that effect of a home I have. And then the back. The back is what is magical. And it's really clear. It says, "Hey, want extraordinary results? Want to get your home sold faster for more money with less stress? Then basically call me. Here's my 3 guarantees. Yep, sold in 63 days. 100% happiness guarantee. Cancel at any time for any reason." It's really simple, right? And how do I do that? Well, I tell people it's really simple. I'm a marketing company that happens to sell real estate. And what I mean by that is when we list your house, we need to advertise it like McDonald's advertises their hamburgers, right? So when McDonald's advertises their hamburgers, are they shy about it, or do they advertise everywhere?
No, everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere. Oh my gosh, they're on like NASCAR race cars. They're on like, hey, we sponsor the Olympics. They're like everywhere. They got a neon sign that's lit up. So I'm like, we need to do a similar kind of thing. So people come to me all the time and they say, hey, I want to give a pocket listing to you, which is kind of a fancy term for like, I really don't want to sell my house. And I tell them like, hey, that's cool, but like, I'm not the right realtor for you. Because if you want your home sold, we got to advertise it. We got to over-advertise it, right? And so one of the first things, I'll grab something for you. One of the first things you got to do is I'm going to create a 12-page brochure for you, just like this, right? And on this 12-page brochure, I could talk to you for an hour just on this brochure, but it is strategically designed to produce results, right? It's a lot of photos, not a lot of text. The main text is, hey, give me a call, and let me show you the house, right? That's huge. This goes out the front of the house. So we got to have a for sale sign at the front, and then this is in the brochure box. So some sellers tell me, hey, I don't want to have a for sale sign in my front yard. They go, that's kind of tacky. I don't want that. And I go, well, then again, I'm probably not the realtor for you. Because, I mean, if you want to get your home sold, we got to be like McDonald's. We got to be like Apple Computer. Like, Apple Computer is really clear that, like, I mean, their stuff is glowing. You know what I mean? Like, this Apple device has got an Apple logo on it, right? So we've got to tell the world that your house is on the market. Otherwise, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. And so an example, gosh, I went over this earlier today. Okay, yeah. Here's an example. This is a typical brochure that a realtor has, right? And it's nice. It's got a thing on the back. It's, above average, right? But it's like, how in the world, if you did like this house, you'd have to get a microscope to find their phone number to call them.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's reading all this text. I tell them it's worthless. Does that make sense? So like, if you're ever in doubt how to market, do what Apple does. If you go to the Apple store, they tell you like 3 specs on the phone, and that's it, right? And that's what I want to do with my brochures. There's no price, and the specs are bedrooms, bathrooms, whatever, and the amount of description on the house, nothing. Right? Nothing, nothing, nothing. And that's what's going to get the phone to ring. That's what's going to get people coming through your property. Also, real quick, before I get into lead generation, like this here and this here are night and day. And at least this realtor's got a couple small photos on, but this main photo is of the front of the house. Well, whoever's driving by this neighborhood, and this is a $1.2 million house with a pretty crummy brochure. I should cover up their names because I don't want to make them feel bad, but I'll do that. I mean, the people who are driving by already know what the front of the house looks like, so they're not dazzled, right? Where my brochure, is that dazzling?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dazzling. I mean, and it's a pretty basic house. That's what the front of the house looks like. And I'll show people the front. But what I got to do is I got to get their attention. And so, because I want them to be looking through this, have it really easy to call me, and then pretty much call me. And that's when the magic happens. And at the 3-day event, oh my gosh, for an entire day, we talk about how to convert a lead into an appointment. Because I tell people, you can have 100 leads a day, but if you don't know how to convert them into an appointment, it's kind of silly. It's just a waste of time. It's like pushing a ball up a mountain. So, oh my gosh, yeah, if you want to learn how to truly crush it in converting leads, and I would say 2 things: converting leads that you want to convert, and repelling people, pushing them away that you don't want to deal with them, right? So there's 7 questions I ask that get people to really want to positively work with me, or they want to run from the hills, right? And it's like perfect, because I don't want to spend months helping somebody sell their house or look to buy a house. Typically, I'll work with a buyer anywhere from about 3 to 10 days. And so I tell a buyer, I'm like, hey, if you want to buy a house, awesome. We'll get it done for you in about 3 to 10 days. Now, it's going to close like 30 days after that. So I repel the buyer that just wants to look and look and look and look. And I'm attracting the buyer that's like, yeah, I just want to be done with it. Does that make sense? Just like Apple does a really good job of like, hey, if you want to buy a new whatever version iPhone, we can have that for you in a matter of 30 minutes. If you want to figure out the specs and all that, sure, come on in and browse. But does that make sense? So, and it really, gosh, I want to focus on lead generation. Is that okay? And with lead generation, I made some note cards. I was up till 3 a.m. last night because I'm like, I really want to make sure I cover the highlights with you guys. And it really starts with you guys as realtors, like where are you at now? Does that make sense? And really it's 3 things. 3 things are like, where are you at now in your personal life? And so on a scale to 0 to 100, 0 meaning like, horrible. 100 meaning like the best ever. Where are you at in your personal life? Number 2 is where are you at in your business life? 0 meaning like, oh, my business life is horrific. 100 meaning like best ever. And then the biggest one is where are you at in gross commission income? right? And that's a specific number. So I'm either at 0 for the year, I'm at 82,000 for the year, I'm at 900,000 for the year. It doesn't really matter what those numbers are. It just matters that we're honest with ourselves. Does that make sense? So I'm really big in being honest with myself because I got to be honest with my potential clients. Otherwise, it's just a train wreck, right? It'd be like overpricing a house or telling a buyer they can get a $400,000 house for 200,000. We've probably all done that. It's a train wreck, right? And oh my gosh, in my 14 years, and now I've helped over 1,400 clients out. I mean, I've learned a lot. And then the second question we got to ask ourselves is, okay, that's cool where we're at right now, but what do we want, right? Like, what do we want our personal life to be? On a scale of 0 to 100, do we want it to be a 10? Do we want it to be a 90? Do we want it to be a 100? Second question is, where do we want our business life to be on a scale to 0 to 100? Do we want it to be a 10, 50, 90? And then where do we want our gross commission income to be? Do we want it to be 100,000 within a year? Do we want it to be 300,000? Do we want it to be 40,000? It doesn't really matter. It's just you gotta put a number down, right? And I tell people, like, you can't say you want to earn 6 figures. Well, you can. You're just never going to do it because 6 figures is either 100,000 or 999,000, and there's a big difference in that. Does that make sense? And then the third question you got to ask yourself is why. Like, why do you want those things? Why do you want your personal life to be whatever number you put down? Why do you want your business life to be whatever number you put down? And why do you want to have that kind of gross commission income? And it's really, really important that as realtors, we got our stuff figured out and we're really clear on that before we can like even interact with the public to help them out. Because the public is really clueless. That's why they're coming to us as realtors. They're looking for help, right?
The webinar. What webinar?
What we got to do is
It's like
really
a training kind of thing.
Oh, I thought you said the weather.
No.
I'm just going to mute, I think, Linda there. But unmute yourself at any time if you guys have any questions, right? And you've got to ask yourself, like, what will that do for you? Like, if you if you put down my personal life as a 20 and I want it to get to 80, awesome. What is that going to do for you? Or you put down my business life as a 30 and I want it to get to a 70, awesome. What is that going to do for you? Or gross commission income. Like if you put down, well, I'm at XYZ and I want it to go to ABC, well, what is that going to do for you? And I just want to just ask you guys that. And so does anybody want to answer any of those three? Like whatever number you put down or where you're at now and where you want to be within 12 months, what is that going to do for you? So who wants to dive in and jump in? First person will get a special prize. I'll send you something in the mail. Last person is going to not like it. But yeah, so someone jump in. In any number, any answer is okay. We got to have our stuff figured out first before we have any chance of helping the public out. Does that make sense?
Does.
Otherwise, it's like, man, our brokers could give us 100 leads a day and they'd all go to waste. Because we got to go like, okay, where am I at? And let's just start with gross commission income. So we all have a number where we're at for the year. So what is that number? And what do you want that number to be within 12 months?
Well, I'll answer. I want to be at 400.
400,000. Awesome. That's great. And where are you at right now for the year?
It's not been it's not been a good year.
That's okay. So like
I'm having a sporadic pattern, so that's why I'm reaching out because there's definitely something off. Good year, bad year, good year, bad year. So that's, and now I know, knowing that I am in this high-end market, there's no reason for me not to have that number.
Yeah. So being honest with myself and the other 6,000 friends on this call, what is your number right now? Like, where are you at?
Where am I at right now?
Yeah, for the year for GCI.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay, so that's zero. So awesome. So okay, and that's okay. It's like I would say this: to go from 0 to 400,000 with my signature system is possible, right? I'm working with Kay. I talked with Kay today, and she's like, last year she made 5,000 in total gross commission income. This year, she and I, we've been working together for 5 months. She's at 75,000 of gross commission income. But she's also in an area where 75,000 of gross commission income is a boatload of money. And if you're in the LA area, that would equate to probably about 300,000 of gross commission income.
And I've got 38 million of off market, but I just need to know how to get it, converted. So I've got some numbers there. They're at reach for me, but I just have to get them sold.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I want to answer that, and then I'll move on. Two things. One is, best thing you could do is invest the $1,000 into yourself and get to the 3-day event. Right. That will change your life, guaranteed. It will add an additional 300,000 of income to you within 12 months, and if not, you just let me know at the 3-day event, and I refund you back 100% of what you paid. So that's kind of a no-brainer. Second would be, yeah, if we can get half of that 30-ish million to get them to actually list their home, so you can do this kind of stuff, that will be life-changing. But you got to tell people, hey, there's no such thing as a pocket listing. Well, there is. They just don't sell. So if you truly want to sell your car, your house, my pen, my Apple iPhone, whatever number this is, I've got to advertise it, right? I've got to advertise it. Otherwise, who in the world knows that this cell phone is for sale? Maybe 12 people, right? And that's not going to net me the highest possible price. So it kind of answers this question here: how are we going to close the gap? So for you, Roxanne, closing that gap means getting half of these pocket listings just listed. And then it's really this question: so what are you going to do, or what are you willing to do to close the gap, right? So it's really answering this: are you willing to follow and do a proven systematic system like mine, right? And if you do, it will get half of those people, if not more, to list their house with you, and the other half will probably be upset because they'll be like, we really don't want to sell, we just want to pocket list. And so, I tell people, like, why in the world should you even follow me and my proven system? Well, because I'm a realtor, just like you, first and foremost. I've done 371 million in 14 years. I've done it in 2 different states, Minnesota, California, and my results are pretty good. I mean, my first year, 10 million, my second year, 14, third year, 27. But I got to tell you this: change is hard. And that's what it's going to require. So if you want to get to somewhere where you've never been before, you're going to have to change. Does that make sense? And an example of that is, I just got back from Hawaii with my wife and our 4 kids, and our 4 kids, and I love vacations. So I work so that I can vacation, basically. And to do that, it means I got to make 30 million in sales, give or take, but I only want to work with about 20 to 25 clients for an entire year, because I just don't want to be. And if you want to learn how to sell 400 homes a year, I can introduce you to some coaches that will help you with that. I just have zero interest. Right? I mean, I've been there, done that. When I was in Minnesota, I had 16 realtors working with me. I had 6.5 admin people, and that's why I don't have much hair left. Right? It was not worth it. So when I came to California, well, I sold my real estate company in Minnesota 2.5 years ago. But 4 years ago, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do real estate a different way. I'm going to do it where I just work with really cool people. I work with cool buyers and cool sellers. And so while I was in Hawaii, I got 2 listings that just like came to me. Does that make sense? And both of them, I said, hey, that's really cool, but I'm going to be gone for about 11 days. But when I get back, we'll meet. And so I met with one of them yesterday. We listed it. And so the point of that, though, is you're going to have to change. Does that make sense? If you really, really, really want whatever this goal is, you're going to have to change. And it's going to be really hard. Like at the beginning, it's crushing. And it really comes to like this. Like, where are you at mentally? Are you interested? Are you committed? Or are you obsessed? So it's like, are you interested in accomplishing your gross commission income goal? Then on a scale to 0 to 100, I'd say you're a 30. Because what'll happen, well, I won't even get to that yet. If you say you're committed to it, you're at about a 60. And if you're obsessed with it, you're at about a 90. And so what are some of the traits, I would say, of someone who's interested? And someone who's interested is like they make a New Year's resolution, and then by January 4th, they don't do it anymore, right? That's somebody who's interested. It's like, in the past, I've been interested in losing weight, right? Which means I'm going to go on a diet for about 5 hours, and then I'm going to eat my milkshakes and my 2 bags of Doritos a night. Right? That was me. I love Doritos. And so when I became committed to losing weight, that's when I lasted about 2 to 4 weeks. And after 2 to 4 weeks, then I was like, okay, I'm going back to my Doritos. When I became obsessed with losing weight, that's when I actually lost weight, right? That's when I was like, okay, I'm going to drink water for a month straight. It's going to kill me, because the taste of water to me tastes like water. And so but because I was obsessed with doing it, and I was more than interested, more than committed, I was obsessed, I finally got the result. Does that make sense? I broke through. And unfortunately, as realtors, way too many times we work with people. Do any of us have buyers or sellers that are interested in buying or selling? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are pain in the rump people to work with, right? Or committed? Yep. I mean, to simplify your life, you got to work with people that are obsessed with buying a home or obsessed with selling a home. Does that make sense? If they don't want to do that, then they can't help. Well, you shouldn't help them. So my proven system works with realtors that are obsessed with making it happen. Now, obsessed to me are these things. It means no more excuses, no more whining, less talk, more action, doing what needs to be done, and then feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So it really is about working smart. But I would say working smart doesn't mean working 100 hours a week. So for me, I generally, well, I don't want to tell you how many hours a week I work, because you probably A, wouldn't believe it, and B, wouldn't believe it. So I'll just say I don't work 40 hours a week as a residential realtor. But instead, I am ultra clear, direct, and firm. But I'm that in a very nice and kind way. So like even my initial marketing doesn't say, hey, if you want to find out the value of your house, give me a call. That's not on here. Does that make sense? What's on here is, would you like to sell your home faster for more money and less stress? If so, call me. That's what's on there. Does that make sense? So I'm not getting 100 inquiries a month of people who want to know what the value of their house is, because I'm not in the business of doing that. Zillow does a good job of that. Let the people go to Zillow for that. I'm in the business of listing a house and getting it sold. So I tell people, if you don't like money, don't follow my proven system. And I'll say that again. If you don't like money, don't follow my proven system. So if you're working with a buyer, I would use that same dialogue. So I tell a buyer, hey, if you don't want to find your dream home, we should not work together. And if I'm working with a seller, I say, if you don't want to sell your home for the highest possible price in the time frame you want with the least amount of stress, don't use me to sell your home. Does that make sense? And most traditional realtors don't say that. They talk about their company's number one, they've been around for 99 years, they've sold all this amount of real estate. Look at my postcard. There is nothing on here that says how great I am. Nothing. I don't have a single thing on here that says I've sold 371 million, right? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because the public doesn't care, right? Because what I'm all about is the process is now in charge. I'm not in charge anymore, right? And it really comes down to this. It's like short-term thinking, medium-term thinking, or long-term thinking, right? And the people who are successful are the ones that think long-term, right? The people who start a diet and quit that diet in 4 days are kind of short-term thinkers, right? And I'm guilty of that in certain aspects of my life. I just know that when I'm attracting clients, I want to attract buyers and sellers that are long-term thinkers. Does that make sense? Like, okay, it's going to stink to have a sign in the yard. It's going to stink to have 20 showings over a month period, but that's going to get this $3 million home sold and get me on to where I want to get. Awesome. Then we're going to be a great fit working together. Okay, 2 words. These 2 words, if you just do this, you will make money. And the 2 words are be nice, right? So I forget the guy's name, but he started Paul Mitchell hair products, and then he now started, I think, Patron tequila or something like that. I have never tried Patron. I should, because I like this guy Paul who started the company. So he's a billionaire, and his motto is be nice, right? That's pretty simple. Nike, billion-dollar company. Their slogan is just do it, right? So it's simple. So my signature system is simple. Like if you're looking for some complicated, convoluted whatever, I wouldn't be a good fit for you, right? But if you want a really easy, lucrative, and fun, or ELF business, definitely sign up for the 3-day event, and let's roll. So I'm a big believer of this. What you think about most is true. So if you think you're not good enough, you're not going to be good enough, right? If you think you don't deserve to have an $800,000 listing, then you don't deserve to have an $800,000 listing, right? If you think, oh man, all guys are jerks, then all guys are going to be jerks. If you think all girls are jerks, all girls are going to be jerks. Does that make sense? It's kind of I call it a truism, and I tell people this: I do business on a handshake. I do business to help people, and I do business to make money. So if you want to convert a lead into a client, just use that the next time you talk to a lead. Right? It doesn't have to be complicated. I do business on a handshake. I do business because I like helping people, and I do business to make money. And it really comes down to these three things. We talked about it earlier. Got to attract premium clients, got to convert premium clients into clients, and then deliver. And so let's talk about attracting. Let's talk about lead generation. So attracting and lead generation is like, you got to first decide, like, what do you want, right? Like, what do you want? Did you want to attract first-time home buyers? Do you want people with a FICO score of 500? Who do you want to attract? And it's really simple, but it's really complicated. So, I don't know, someone want to speak up and tell me, like, who in a perfect world, what kind of client would they like to attract? And I'll help you attract those people in the next 12 minutes. It's pretty quick. So who would be an ideal client you want to work with? Fire away. No one wants ideal clients? Well, okay. Then I guess we're over. I don't know. I can't help you. But I guess I'll tell you who I like as an ideal
Well
client.
qualified clients.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fire away. Yeah.
Well qualified clients.
Yeah. Awesome. Well qualified. Cool. So what does that mean to you?
But high-end, well-qualified clients.
Okay. Cool. So what does high-end, well-qualified clients mean to you?
Means, you know, people that we can work with, and actually, like the opposite of what you're saying, you know, the 500 FICO score, and you know, the difficult loans and hard to please, you know.
Awesome. So and I want to keep drilling it down. And I do the same kind of drilling down when I work with a buyer and a seller. I go over 7 questions with them. It takes about 11 minutes. And I tell them these 7 questions are going to help me sell your home for about 4% more money than the average realtor. So if you're okay with that, let me ask you these 7 questions. And I've never had anybody tell me no yet. But so awesome. So hey, so okay, so cool. So what does well qualified mean to you? If you had to put a number to that, what does that mean?
Well qualified means somebody that can afford, you know, the homes that they're interested in.
Awesome. And what kind of home do you want that person to be interested in?
Oh, I see where you're getting. So let's talk about numbers like $500,000 homes, $1 million homes.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's kind of a big range, but so if every lead from now till eternity was only a certain price range or price point, what would you want that price range or price point to be?
No limits, right? We're talking about best case scenario here.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking real world because real world is, like it or not, there's some realtors out there, they make $22 million a year. And they don't work 50 hours a week. They work less, right? There's a realtor in San Diego. She makes a little over $1 billion of sales per year. And she works about 31 hours a week. Right? So we might have some BS. I call it a belief system. We all do. And we pretty much got to do a Control-Alt-Delete on our BS. Right? So doing $500,000 of gross commission income doesn't mean we got to work 100 hours a week.
Correct.
Doing $20,000 of gross commission income, you might be working 100 hours a week because you're thinking about work all the time. You're just drained. You're stressed. You're worried. You're frustrated. You're anxious. You're concerned. ugh, I never wanted that in real estate. So I was like, how in the world do I get to $10 million of sales my first year? Because I don't want to be stressed. I didn't get the real estate license because I go, hey, I want to be stressed. So I'm going to be a realtor. I got into real estate because I want freedom. I want profits and I want passions, right? And passions are, I don't care if I ever see another house again, right? That's not my passion. My passion is my 4 kids, Jamie, Connor, Grace, Mary, and my bride of 24 and a half years, Katie. That's my passion. Does that make sense? That's why it's like I just got back from Hawaii on Monday. I was gone for 12 or 14 days, and my cell phone looked like that for probably half the time. That's pretty blank, right? I just turned the sucker off. I just turned it off. And I lost 2 good clients. I lost a $41,000 commission, and I lost a $23,000 commission. And it's like, yeah, it is what it is. Because there's so much more business out there. But again, it's about getting really confident. It's getting very clear on what you want, and then it's being very consistent. So I'm just trying to help you, Giuliano. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So let's get really clear on like who do you, from now till eternity, you're only working with this person. What is this person purchasing?
Wow, that's a that's a big range, really. No, I would say, like right now, where I am right now, I think that my sweet spot is 400 to 600, $700,000.
Okay, but I don't care where you're at. Like, so I got a 19-year-old. Has anybody seen the video of Sam? This 19-year-old that I'm working with. This was last summer. He's a college student, right? The last summer he made 38,000 gross commission income and 2 transactions. This year for the summer he's at 44,000 gross commission income and his goal is 80. And this year he's gone up a little. So last year he had like a 850 and a 700 sale. This year he had a 1,150,000 and then he's got like a 825 or 850. And he could put on the hat of like, I can't do that. I'm an 18, 19, 20-year-old. Right? So I better start with $75,000 transactions and work my way up. Or you can put on the hat that says, giddy up, let's go. I'm a realtor just like this guy Jonathan Zabraki, and if he can do it, I can do it, and somebody's got to do it, so why not have it be me, right? It's like, hey, we're in a political election time, which is weird, right? I mean, we got 2 candidates who, right? I mean, wow. One has trouble finding her emails, and the other just like obliterates every nationality known to man. Like, I'm German and Polish, so I'm waiting for him to send me back to Poland or Germany, So it's the point of that is like you gotta just go for it. Does that make sense? And so if you were just gonna go for it and you just have leads at a certain price range coming to your world starting today for the rest of your life, what price range do you want?
$1 million listing.
Million. Okay, awesome. So $1 million. So awesome. So then this is how to attract them by how you talk. Does that make sense? And really how you talk is this. It's 3 things. And I would jot this down. And I'm not a big believer of tattoos. I don't have any tattoos yet. If I did have tattoos, I'd be one of those, like, I'd be fully tatted. Because there's so many phrases that I love out there, but these are my 3 favorite. One is ask great questions. 2 is listen, and 3 is offer to solve their problem.
Mm-hmm.
And most realtors do not do that. And the reason we don't is we've been told to talk about ourselves, right? And how great we are, and all these wonderful things we're going to do, and we're number one. Well, the only problem with saying you're number one is I think there's 7 real estate companies right now that claim they're number one. So the public is not stupid, and what the public says is, wow, realtors are a whole bunch of liars. Because how can everybody be number one? Does that make sense?
Yep.
It's like that's impossible. You can only have one. Let's see. I'm gonna mute someone who's getting some feedback. You hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. So so ask great questions, listen, and offer to solve their problem. So how do we do that? Well, there's 11 ways to attract awesome clients. Awesome clients, $1 million and up. So I could be dropped into, where are you out of, Giuliano?
Oh, Florida.
Ah, Florida. Okay, cool. So I could be dropped into your neck of the woods, and within 11 days, I could have $1 million listing. Would that be helpful? If you could learn that skill, would that be helpful for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Then get to the 3-day event in San Diego, right? If it requires you like start walking today, I would start walking today.
Correct.
The 3-day event's guaranteed. 2 guarantees. One is you'll never have to attend another real estate event ever again. 2 is I guarantee you'll walk away with a clear picture of how to make an additional $300,000 of income within 12 months. And if either of those things don't come true, in your opinion, not my opinion, you just let me know, and I refund you back this $1,000 that you paid. And I limit it to 30 realtors. It's half full right now, maybe more than half full. But anyway, you go to profitsandpassions.com and you can sign up there. But these are the 11 different ways. We spend 2 days going over this, exactly what to do to get them. In fact, when you sign up for the 3-day event, I send you my guide to your success. This is this manual I wrote probably 12 years ago. Because realtors were coming to me going, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is what I do. And they go, yeah, but how do you get that kind of lead source? And so I documented it. Yeah, here it is right here. I document it page by page, exactly like what to say, how to say it, when to say it. So like on converting a lead, like how to ask great questions, right there. And there's really 7 of them that are monstrous. The rest of them you can throw out. And okay, so out of these 11 ways, I would say two ways you could start making cash today would be send out a postcard with this dialogue. You send this out, your phone will ring. I work with a number of realtors around the country. Number 1, send this out and your phone will ring. One gentleman sent out 477 cards. He got one $600,000 inquiry from it. These people had never got a postcard from him ever before, right? And in his market, 600,000 is crushing it. 2, what you could do is send out thank you cards. So remember earlier, one of these cards I wrote down like be nice. So I send out 2 thank you cards a day. Monday through Friday. Takes me 8 minutes to send out 2 thank you cards, handwritten. So ask yourself that. Are you sending out 2 handwritten thank you cards a day? And if not, oh my gosh, then ask yourself, like, why not? You know? And you might do postings to Facebook or emails, or I get e-cards every so often. Yeah, that's okay, but a handwritten thank you card, that's awesome. That's called old-fashioned. That's called be nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sending an email is kind of like posting a Facebook thing that says, "Hey, happy birthday," and you're one of 75 others that took the time out of their like in between while they're waiting for groceries to like text somebody happy birthday. It's really not that impressive, so like be impressive, be memorable. um, Gosh, CCR is current client referrals. You should be getting, for every one client you have, you should be getting one client. It should multiply like rabbits. If you're not getting that on average, get to the 3-day event. I'll tell you real briefly how I do it. One is Tuesday, Friday update calls. So I update my clients on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I'm in Hawaii for 2 weeks. I call them on Tuesday and Friday. They know that, and my phone doesn't ring 72 other times throughout the week because they know I'm calling them by noon on Tuesday and noon on Friday. They can still call me anytime they want, but they don't. Does that make sense? That's how I get my time back. And then housewarming party, HWP. If you're not throwing a housewarming party for every buyer you help out, oh man, you're killing me. And be like, that is huge. Throw a housewarming party. It's cheap. I show you how you can throw a housewarming party for about $75. That's cheap. I show you how to get the food for free. How to get like house cleaning services for free. Past client referrals. Generally, you should be getting one past client referral for every 5 past clients you have. So if some of you watching this have like 500 past clients, you don't need to advertise. Like cancel your realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia. You don't need to send out a single postcard. Just connect with your past clients. Top 150. These are 150 people that know you, like you, trust you. If I got dropped into your part of Florida, I could get 150 people within about 2 weeks, right? I would join some Toastmasters. I'd join some Chamber of Commerces. I'd probably never attend those meetings, but I would give them a call with a very simple 7-minute phone call, and they're going to hang up the phone after talking to me, and they're going to go like, wow, whoever that was is different. And it's because it goes back to I'm going to ask some great questions, I'm going to listen, and then I'm going to offer to solve their problem.
Yep.
Top 25. This is huge. If you're not taking out 25 people a month to your favorite milkshake place, to your favorite fish taco place, to your favorite movie, to like I was gone in Hawaii for like 12 days. I came back and there's a Krispy Kreme open up. I'm like, whoa, how did that happen? I'm like, man, I was only gone for like 2 weeks. And so now that there's a new Krispy Kreme open up, which there's none others that exist in San Diego that I'm aware of, I'm going to take my 25 favorite people out. So I've already sent an email out to them today. I'm like, hey, Thursday, 4 o'clock, I'm going to be at Krispy Kreme. My goal is to eat as many donuts as I can. Bring your kids, bring your grandkids. Donuts are free on me from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Hope to see you there, Jonathan. I send it out to 25 people. Some people respond back like, hey, that's awesome. My son's brother is at our house. Can I bring his kids? So then I send an email out to the 25 people. I'm like, bring your neighbors. Bring your kids. Bring your friends. Bring your enemies. Bring whoever you want to bring. We're having a party at Krispy Kreme. It's on me from 4 to 6 p.m. Who knows how many people will show up? But when they show up, they're going to think, are they going to think higher of me or less of me?
Of course, higher, yeah.
Higher. And all I'm doing is buying them a donut.
Right.
Right? But it's like so often as realtors, we rack our brains for hours about how to like get awesome clients. It's like, let's start with our friends. And if it's like, I don't have any friends, then it's like, okay, well, I didn't in Minnesota either. But my first year I did 10 million. When I moved to San Diego, I didn't know anybody. Roxanne would know. My little brother lives in Orange County, specifically Ladera Ranch.
Yeah.
That's 2 hours from me on like a nice day with no traffic.
Right.
You know, so I don't know anybody in San Diego, but I did over 20 million my first year. And it's like, go make friends. Oh my gosh, at the 3-day event, we spend about 3 hours about how to make friends and how to make them fast and how to make them deep. And then a 100 service provider list. So if you don't have a list of your top 100 service providers, you're killing it. Because when I take people out to Krispy Kreme, I'm going to ask them like, hey, what can I do for you? And they're going to go like, what do you mean? And I go like, I don't know. Do you want to learn how to speak Spanish? Do you want to teach your kids piano? Do you want to cut your dog's hair? What can I do to help you out? Do you got a toilet that needs unclogging? And they're going to go like, yeah, we got this storm door. It's had a tear in it for like 5 months. And I go, whoa, okay, let me fix that for you. I'm going to call Ken. And at the Krispy Kreme store, I call up Ken. Hey, Ken, it's Jonathan. Hey, I'm sitting here with Cindy, and Cindy says she needs her storm door fixed. Can you help her out? And Ken goes, yeah. And I say, okay, cool, here's Cindy. And then I hand it over to Cindy, and Cindy takes the phone. She's like, hey, so yeah, can you? And Ken's like, you're a friend of Jonathan? I'll do anything for you. Do you want this thing fixed at 11 p.m. tonight? I'll be there. And that's how you work with people. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Lenders. Lenders are like amazing. This changed my life when I met Greg Bertagnoli. So Greg Bertagnoli is a lender who, by my 2.5 years, he was sending me over $1 million of business a month. Well, what's cool is that 2 weeks before that, I didn't know him from Adam, and he didn't know me from Adam. And so I teach realtors how to go find a lender that's going to send you $500,000 to $1 million of business a month. And if that would be helpful to you, sign up for the 3-day event, because that's amazing. Builders, oh my gosh, Christy Willis now works with one builder and one builder only, and she makes about $300,000 a year. And again, I don't even want to tell you how many hours of work a week she works, because you would fall off the cliff. How did we get that builder? By making 3 phone calls. 3 phone calls. I did it with her. It took us a total of about 9 minutes.
Wow.
It's not complicated. 2 kinds of media. There's online media and print media. That's it. So if you want to learn how to get like online leads, cool, I'll show you. But I would just start with realtor.com. I mean, they're awesome. Print media, yeah, right here. This postcard, the property brochures, the for sale sign, the 6 listing letters that I send out. So the moment you sign up for the 3-day event, you get all this stuff, like boom, emailed to you instantly. It's in a Dropbox format. And then you and I, we hang out for 4 phone calls before the event starts, because I want to see you get a result before you even attend the event. That's pretty cool. Like when someone comes to the event and they're like, hey, you know what, I got 33,000 in new business in the last 3 weeks. It's kind of, I don't know, I get a kick out of that. I enjoy it. And the 6 listing letters. So like when I do a listing, the neighborhood gets 6 different letters from me, because I want to get more of those listings, right? Like when I get to sell a cool house like this, I want more of them. And I don't want to door knock. Ugh. I don't want to call expires. Ugh. I don't want to call FSBOs. Ick. I want simplicity. And then if I was dropped into Florida, I show you the 4 letters that I would send out to get a listing. So if someone goes, I don't even have a listing. What do I do? Cool. Send these 4 letters out. Well, who should I send them to? Well, we go back to your ideal client, Giuliano, and we go, you want $1 million plus? So I would call my title company in Florida and be like, hey, I'm looking for a list of 200 homes that are $1 million or more. And then they go, boop, here they are, and I send the letters out. So while I'm watching the Olympics and the high dive into the green pool, I'm folding my letter, putting it in an envelope, and away it goes. And I'm going to send that letter out every 2 days to that neighborhood. I'm going to do 4 of those letters, and at the end of those 4, the 8 days, 9 days, I will get a phone call, and you will too. I don't care if you're in Alaska, Idaho, New Mexico. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Open houses, I love them. I try and do an open house once a weekend, sometimes 2. They're beautiful. Thank you cards, we went over that. Mail out 10 a week. I show you exactly what to say on a thank you card. Housewarming party, yep, exactly what to do. Convert, oh yeah, you got to know how to convert leads, because if you get 100 leads a day but you don't know how to convert them, it's worthless. All about creating an elf business, easy, lucrative, and fun. I'm going a little quick because I actually got to get to a seller's appointment in 22 minutes here, but he's only about 8 minutes away. But oh, and by the way, this is what I wear. So you can see I'm just wearing a typical, I think I bought this shirt at Costco, right? So I'm just showing you where I buy my wardrobe from. And this is, I might button this up, but I doubt it. I'm sure I'll just arrive like this. And this is a $800,000 to $900,000 property. And they will list with me. And the reason they're going to list with me is not because of what I wear. It's not because of the glasses I have. It's not because my hair sticks out on the side. It's not because my hair is thinning. It's not because I'm 20 pounds overweight. It's because the marketing that I'm going to do for them, and I'm going to be very clear, direct, and firm in a nice way, right? And I'm going to tell them, hey, your house is going to sell or not sell based on 3 things and 3 things only. Price, marketing, and the realtor that you use. And I would jot that down. That is my listing presentation.
Wow.
I used to have a great listing presentation. I still have it here. And it's all kinds of papers and binders and all this gibberish. Yeah, I don't do it anymore. It takes too much time. It takes too much time, and the public is bored out of their brains because they're just like, here's another realtor who's pompous. And it's like, I don't want to be pompous. I want to be a nice guy, and I want to invite them to my Krispy Kreme donut thing tomorrow at, from 4 to 6 p.m. That's what I mean, I'm into donuts. I'm not into selling houses. So I tell them there's only 3 things. It's price, marketing, the realtor you use. And there's 3 promises that I'm going to give you. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Now, there's 3 things that I'm going to be doing with you and for you. I'm going to consult with you. I'm going to negotiate for you. I'm going to handle all the stress for you, right? Bottom line, I'm going to get the job done. I'm not going to let you down. And here's my 3 performance guarantees. And then I go over my performance guarantees. Boom, boom, boom. So, and I really want to get that done probably within about a half hour, because I gotta go on my hike still today. Wednesdays are busy days for me, and I haven't gone on my hike, and I like to go on like about a 90-minute hike a day. So that means to get back home before it gets dark, I could maybe take it 45 minutes, but I really don't want to. But I'll talk to them tomorrow for 2 hours at Krispy Kreme, right? And so, I don't know. I guess this is a question I wrote out, like, so now what do you do? And why not you? And why not now? Like, all this stuff that I do is really simple. It's really basic. Anybody can do it. You just got to learn the signature system, right? And that's what I do at the 3-day event. And sometimes people come up with excuses, right? Like, I don't know. You pick an excuse out of the air, right? And this is what I generally say to them. I say, seriously, you're going to let that hold you back? I mean, seriously, Giuliano's. So you could have $1 million clients for the rest of your life. You're going to let deltas,
Whatever excuse you have.
yeah, whatever, that they might be late. I mean, that seriously? And it really comes down to this. It's like, when did you stop believing in yourself, right? Because that's really the big crux of why there probably is a gap from where we are to where we want to be, right? And it stinks. Like, change is hard. Honesty stinks. I hate the mirror, right? I like to just buy bigger clothes. It's so much easier. You know what I mean? And so, but it's like, why? Why did we stop believing in ourselves? And we probably started years ago, and it starts small, and then it just cascades into like, man, we're now a hot mess. You know what I mean? And that was me probably between my second and third year. I was a hot mess. I was working 100 hours a week. I was doing about $20 million in sales, but I was not enjoying it, right? It stunk. And I was like, I gotta find a better way. So I spent about $90,000 that year doing business coaching, doing every single real estate training thing you can think of. I did them all, and then I said, okay, I'm going to pick this from that, and this from that, and this from that, and I created a signature system which works. It's almost franchisable, if that's such a word. I just don't have a desire to franchise it. That's not of interest to me. So yeah, I mean, if you really want to get confident again, if you really want to feel your fear and do it anyway, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to invest more into yourself, whether that be invest money or invest time, right? So the reason I do a 3-day event is the whole purpose is for you guys to get out of your world for 3 to 4 days, right? Because staying in your current world, your life isn't going to change. Does that make sense? You got to get out of your world for 3 days. And when you do that, you're going to grow more, you're going to become more, and you're going to have more. Yeah, and BS. We all have a belief system. And some of us need to take our belief system and change it. Some of us need to take our belief system and improve it. I'm a big believer in progress, not perfection. I'm a big believer in do the best you can with what you have. I'm a big believer in follow one system and do that one system no matter what. But do a system that's like proven, and do a system that like somebody's actually doing. And that's why I got into real estate coaching and training, for lack of a better term, is because 12 years ago I was going to all these folks who do real estate coaching and training, and I quickly learned, like, wow, these people never sold a house. They sold a house like 15 years ago, right? And so I want to be that person for 52 realtors in America who are like, yeah, I want to really take my business to the next level, but I want to take advice from somebody who's been there, done that, and doing that. Does that make sense? So it's like when I go on my listing appointment now in 14 minutes, is when I got to be there, I can report back to you and go, wow, that was horrible. And the reason it was horrible is this, 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 and this happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Real quick, so I always bring lots of $100 bills. I usually have about 2,000 $100 bills. Well, not two. I usually have 20 $100 bills hanging in my little satchel. And so what I do is if I'm ever late to an appointment, because I tell them my 3 promises. One is I'm always going to be on time. If I'm ever late, ever, for any appointment, I owe you $100.
Wow.
Second promise I give you is I'm going to be brutally honest with you. So if in your opinion I've ever tainted the truth in any way, you let me know, and I owe you what?
$100.
$100. And vice versa, or not vice versa, but the third promise is I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. So if I say the for sale sign is going to be in by Friday, and it's not in by Friday, there is no excuse. And you know what I owe you?
Wow.
$100. So that's my listing presentation. And that works a lot better than well, probably your listing presentation, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a different mindset. It takes change to do this stuff. Does that make sense? And I worked with Allison. I still work with Allison. Oh man, she's awesome. She's out of Chicago, and she did $6 million her first year. And this year, she's like, I want to do about $10 million, but I want to work about 18 hours a week. I'm like, awesome, Allison, you're my kind of person. Because if you want to work 18 hours a week, you got to be clear, direct, and firm, and we got to cut through all the baloney and just cut to the chase. And so her first listing appointment she went on, she's with Berkshire Hathaway Super Duper Home Services, you know. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but like, don't talk about that. She's like, don't talk about that, but I pay money to be part of an inner circle and a this and a that. And I'm like, okay, well, the public could care less, right? Like, I don't care where Krispy Kreme gets their flour from. I just want the dough, right? If the flour, who cares? So she did the listing appointment my way. If I had time, I'd play the voicemail, and her voicemail's like, oh my gosh. Like 40 minutes later, I have the signed listing agreement. They signed with me. They didn't even ask how much I charge in commission. I could have charged 12%, and I didn't even get to go over all the good stuff I'm going to do for them. I didn't get to tell them about the brochure. I didn't get to tell them about the drone photography. I didn't get to tell them about all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's kind of sad. It makes my feelings feel bad too when a seller just lists with me in like 20 minutes because I show them where's my $100, you know, my $300 and my promises to them. And many times what I tell them is I'm like, hey, I tell you what, I trust you because I do business on a handshake, remember? So here's $300. So if I'm ever late, at least I got the next 3 times covered. And if I'm not late, do you mind just giving me the money back? Oh my gosh. Talk about simple. So sign up for the 3-day event. Don't delay. Don't get rid of the excuses, right? It's like, seriously, you're going to let that hold you back? So, all right, I got 3 minutes, and then I really got to skedaddle. So, does anybody have any questions about anything?
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
We had a bad power storm here, so I had to cut out. But is this recorded where I can go take another look at it? Or will it be?
Yeah. So I'm not a techie, but I got a techie guy named Brian, and he'll figure out how to do it and send it to everybody. Is that cool?
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're getting like 17 inches of rain or something crazy, aren't you?
It got really bad for a little while, but we're all right.
That's why I'm in San Diego, where it rains like 2 inches a year or something crazy. So awesome. Who else has got a burning question? Gotta be something.
Hold on. I know. Hold on.
So go to profitsandpassions.com, PROFITS and PASSIONS.com, and on there it'll be, I don't know, I don't even know what's on there, but there's probably something on there to click on that tells you come to the event and talks about the 2 guarantees and all the stuff you're going to get.
Jonathan, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. You mentioned that one of the main things you're going to do for them to list with you is the marketing. Can you share a little bit of your marketing plan with us? Or?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the 12-page brochure is like I don't play poker, but if I did, this is like the Joker. I do play 500, so for 500 players, this is like the Joker. Or if you're bidding hearts in 500, this is like the Joker, the Jack of Hearts, and the Jack of Diamonds. Because no other realtor creates a 12-page brochure. It doesn't exist, right? Because most realtors are cheap. So most realtors are like, I'm going to create this because this is 10 cents a piece. Well, I'm going to create this because this is $3 a piece. Why do I want to do that? Because when I fly to Hawaii, I kind of want to fly first class.
Right.
Because I'd rather do $30 million of sales with 23 clients. That's why I'm going to spend a little more money. Right?
Yep.
Remember the thing where it says invest more, grow more, become more, have more? The more you invest in yourself, the more income you will make, period, end of story, boom. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is I do drone photography. Number three is if you look at the bottom there and you go to that website, greatramonahome.com, every single house that I list is going to have its own website. You're going to be pretty hard pressed to find some information about me online about that I've sold a bunch of real estate because the public doesn't care. I don't want to advertise that. Like, who cares? I don't care that what I fly. I flew. We did Alaska Airlines to Hawaii. I don't know anything about Alaska Airlines. I really don't care. I just want to arrive like without being dead.
Right.
Pretty much my criteria, and I'd like to arrive on quasi on time.
Right.
John?
Yeah.
Roxanne again. I have a quick question. In Bel Air, the average days on market sold is like 300 something. In the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's like 300 average. So how do I overcome that they're
Awesome.
sitting?
So I can tell you this right off the bat. People in realtors in Bel Air, no offense to your realtors there, but you're probably taking offense to it, is they're not, they don't have the three promises. They might be on time, but they're certainly not honest, and they're not, and they maybe do what they say they're going to do. And what I mean by honest is like, okay, so I got a friend. He's worth $880 million. It's a good amount of money, right? He values honesty, right? So basically, the wealthier people get, the more they value honesty. Does that make sense? So, like, my best friends are brutally honest with me. My friends that I aren't friends with, they're not honest. So it's like, my friends might say, like, Jonathan, that is the ugliest shirt I've ever seen. And I'd be like, oh, okay, well, cool. I appreciate your opinion. I could list a house in Bel Air for a price it's not going to sell for, or I can list it at a price it's going to sell for. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, like, a McDonald's in Bel Air doesn't go, we're in Bel Air, so now the Big Mac should be worth $12. No, it doesn't work that way, right? McDonald's has a bunch of actuaries, it's called, which is really smart people that figure out exactly how to sell Big Macs like crazy, or Target, or whatever the company is. So there's a whole bunch of overpriced houses probably in Bel Air, or at least the list price is like, some fantasy number. So even take, like, I got some pretty fancy cars. If I took one of my fancy cars into a car dealership, how long is it going to take them to get back to me to tell me what my car is worth? Like a month? How long is it going to take? I'll tell you. I took in one of them, the CarMax. It took them about 11 minutes. They came back and they're like, boom, your car is worth this amount of money. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, okay, I'm now going to go to the Ferrari dealership. So I go, hey, so what's this thing worth? Yeah, it took them about 10 minutes. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go take it to the BMW dealership. They tell me in about 10 minutes. All of them are about the same price, give or take, right? I mean, it's like, it's pretty obvious what the price is, and then it's up to me, do I want to sell it or not? So I tell people, see, I was a stockbroker for 12 years, financial planner before this. So it's like, I understand you got three options, buy, sell, or hold in a stock. You got three options in a house. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to sell it? Or do you just want to live in it? That's it. And if you just want to live in your house, cool, that's awesome. Let's go get some Krispy Kreme donuts. If you want to sell your house, awesome. Then you need to do what's called a listing appointment. If you want to buy a house, awesome. Then we got to do what's called a buyer appointment. But if you don't want to buy a house, no problem. Let's just go get a donut at Krispy Kreme. Right? So I'm not out there trying to force people to buy or sell. I'm a total different mentality of I'm just doing stuff that's going to attract people who want to buy and sell. See how it's so easy that way? Like Krispy Kreme donuts, they're not forcing people to buy the donuts. They're just attracting people that want a donut. So like somebody who's a health nut, right? I got some friends who are health nuts. They're not going to Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme could charge $5 a donut. My friends who are health nuts, they're not going, right? They could give out free donuts. They're not going. Krispy Kreme is just selling donuts to people like me that are like, ooh, donuts with nice frosting and hot, ready and now. Beautiful. I'll take a dozen. And then I'm like, I'll bring them home for the kids, and then half the box is gone. I'm like, oh, sorry, kids, I got a little chaotic. So, well, I guess I owe the gentleman $100, so oh well. For my list of equipment coming up, can you guys tell I love this stuff? I really, really love this stuff, and I love it because it's so easy, it's so different, it's a different mentality, and I'm just on a mission to help 30 realtors, and I do these events usually every 3 months, so to help 120 realtors start doing their business a different way. Like, not slightly different, like way different. There's no real estate coach or trainer that says once a month you should take 25 people out for a donut. It does not exist. It doesn't exist. There's no real estate coach or trader that says when you go on a listing appointment you should wear a short sleeve shirt that's kind of buttoned. It doesn't exist, right? But I'm telling you, humans like it. And the wealthier somebody is, the more all they want is somebody who's real. Does that make sense? Because wealthy people are kind of surrounded with a whole bunch of fake people. I was going to use a different word, right? So the higher up you go, the more you just want brutal honesty, right? So I should move to Bel Air, but you know my kids go to school in San Diego, and I'm not going to move there. But it'd be like so easy, right? But this is so easy in any area. It doesn't matter if it's Iowa, doesn't matter if it's Minnesota, where I'm from, right? Where the average home price was like $130,000, right? There's still wealthy people in Minnesota, and so it's like I might as well go after the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 transactions in Minnesota. And the Target Corporation appreciate my honesty. Right? The person who's kind of a low-end person at Target doesn't appreciate the person who's higher up in Medtronic, St. Jude Medical, Boston Scientific. You know, they love it. They're like, oh my gosh, I haven't even gone into how to get into a corporation and be their realtor of choice. Like, think of the top 12 corporations in your area. If you could be the realtor of choice for that corporation, would that make a difference for you? And you're not having to pay a crazy referral fee. Oh, it's awesome. All right, I owe $100 to Mel in Maryland, but that's okay. I got to skedaddle. Sign up for the 3-day event in September. You will not be disappointed. Hey, have a great day, guys. Put some of this stuff into action.
Thank you,
Thank
Jonathan.
you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.